B'ezrat Hashem will continue in Likutei Moharan. I just wanted to give that break in between because I thought it would be important to learn those things. And I think I'll do that, every once in a while. Do like that break, and whether it's going to like Tehillim or going to the davening or just going to places, just to awaken that idea, that insight on the Torah. And because at the end of the day, like the bottom line is, at the end of the day, is that if a person doesn't actually like learn Torah and at least read Tehillim and use the letters of the Torah and draw them into his being, he won't be able to subdue the Yetzer Hara, because that's just the strength that the Torah has. And later on we'll see in different lessons what the Torah actually is, what the letters are, the strength that they have, why they have this strength to wipe out and subdue any bad that we have from within us. So just to go into it, and every once in a while take a break and like explain the importance of just understanding what we're saying and getting actually life out of it, feeling like getting real chiyut when a person finishes davening and is learning. It should become like one. Reb Nachman says the whole tefillah, the whole prayer really is one. Like from the beginning of davening all the way to the end is actually one. Like when you start the first letter, you should really be like, you should be with that first letter from the beginning till the end, because it's all really one. All the letters are one. So just a little summary before we continue. We said that through the strength of the Torah, all of the prayers and requests that we ask for get answered, because the Torah just has this ability to put this chen onto us, which is reconnecting and unifying between our heart and our mind. The way to do it is a person needs to connect himself to the sechel. We said the sechel is all of the light that there is from within the falls that a person has. And this is the aspect of Yaakov, because Yaakov Avinu, and we'll see also later on, he's going to tie it in a little bit. We're going to tie it into Yosef HaTzadik, because both of them basically, the Zohar says that they're both considered like one. The Gemara, I think, or the Midrash brings a whole list of similar things that happened to Yaakov and Yosef to show that they had a very similar shoresh of neshama. Their souls were connected in some sort of way where they were very went through, even in the physical world, like they went through similar stuff. So this whole aspect of the sechel, seeing the sechel from within everything, and being able to connect to it and actually get the sparks of holiness from all the Torah that I keep, the mitzvot aseh, the mitzvahs, the commandments of doing things, the commandments of not doing things. It's the aspect of Yaakov, because Yaakov Avinu is the headquarters of the one who had this, this war against his Yetzer Hara, against Esav, and managed to subdue him and take out of him this firstborn, and through that attain, get all of the brachas. And the way Yaakov Avinu did it was through the strength of the Torah. That's why we see that before he went to Lavan, he went first for 14 years to learn Torah. So he used the strength of the Torah, and the not just regular Torah, but the Torah he used was Torah b'koach. Like we said, that you need to learn Torah b'koach, which means you strengthen yourself from within the downs, from within the falls. You strengthen yourself, you don't fall. You still hold on to that firstborn even in the falls. And the way Yaakov Avinu did it, the way we all can do it, is through the last lesson that I gave, all about those different words that we need to look at and understand them in that kind of way, and through that, mamish, draw a lot of strength from everywhere we learn and everywhere we daven. We get a lot of strength out of it. So that's the aspect of Yaakov Avinu. And then we said that it's also the letter of Chet, which means sin, right? The Chet, and then we have the Nun. The Chet is the actual light, the Sechel that comes down, that we can get. The Nun is the vessel. It's the Malchut, the kingdom, right? It's the vessel, that's the heart. And from within the heart we have the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara, right? Esav and Yaakov. And the way to strengthen because the Malchut, the heart doesn't have any strength. It's a vessel that needs strength in order to be able to receive that light of the Sechel, because it's a very high light. The way to give it strength is through learning Torah. And again, the learning Torah has to be in that way of combining the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara, where you're combining, basically, you're learning Torah, and at the same time When you fall, you're strengthening yourself by azamra, by the tzaddik, that whole thing we spoke about yesterday, and you're always combining a lot of nekudot tovot and finding the good and doing whatever you need to do in order to strengthen yourself. So the Torah that you learn really gives you strength, and through that what you do is you connect between the chet and the nun, like we said, which is the mind and the heart, and they become one. So now Rav Nachman is going to explain what the reason is why things aren't, our prayers and stuff don't get answered. And he doesn't say prayers; he says actually just the requests, because the prayers later on he says that they actually do get, every prayer gets answered. Through this, nitkablin kol hatfilot v'habakashot, through reunifying between the chet and the nun, creating a strong vessel in the heart so that it has the ability to receive the light from the sechel. Through that, all the prayers and requests get answers. Ki ikar ma she'en nitkablim habakashot u'mechamat she'en lahadvarim chen. Right? Ve'en nechnasim balev shel zeh shemevakshim mimeno. So the main reason why the requests, when we daven and we ask for things, they don't get answered, is because the words that are coming out of our mouth, the dvarim, they don't have chen. They don't have this connection between the, like we said, the Torah or the tefillah, right? The combination between the chet and the nun, which is davening or learning, but always combining it with a lot of words of chizuk and a lot of encouragement and always looking at the good, and through that, mamish, giving yourself life, right? So when a person sees that in the words of prayer or the words of learning, wherever he's learning, it gives him a source of life. So because the words that are coming out of our mouth, because we don't have that connection, we're not seeing it in that way, so the words don't have this chen, they don't have this connection. So they don't go into the heart of he who is asking, they don't go into Hashem's heart. It's as if they don't have space to go into Hashem's heart. Now, the words don't have space to go in. Why? Because the person who's asking, right, me who is praying for it, because my words don't have chen, they don't have this connection, so they're basically not going into my heart, right? When I'm davening for things, when I'm learning, right, it's not going into my heart because I don't have this connection. So I always have this kind of like inside, I still have that like screaming and all those question marks and all those, things, because I'm not feeling that melody playing from within me, just because I'm not listening to the beauty and the love and the mercy and the nekudot tovot and the tzaddik from within me. That if I would start hearing the melody, and then when I would be learning or davening, I'd be listening to it and it'd be going into my heart would be open. So that's when a person has that connection. So when I have that connection, then it's open up top also, because there's the upper worlds is like all. It's like, everything is like down here. Like if you have no connection between your heart and your mind, your heart is closed. So up there, also the upper heart, where all the requests need to go in over there, is also closed. Aval al-yidei Torah, but through learning Torah in the way that we spoke about, through that, the nun and the chet, they come together and they mamish tie together, they become one. And that's why the Torah is called Ya'alat Chen, because it has that ability to mamish tie together this chet and nun, the heart and the mind, in a very strong way. So your heart mamish feels and hears every single word that's coming out of your mouth, and it's giving a source of life to your heart, which is basically like the king of all of your the seven midot, the six characteristics, like all the midot that come out of you. And when you have this connection, then you merit that your words have divrei chen, are words of chen, words that have this love between them. And then all of his words and his requests get answered. Like when someone speaks to you and he has words of chen. Sometimes, a person will talk to you, tell you about a problem, they need money or something, and they just have this type of like chen, like this grace. You don't know what it is, but for some reason, their words that they give just go right into your heart and open it up, and it just opens up from within your heart immediately, a desire to help them. You don't even know why. So the reason is because that person has chen. דהיינו זה שמבקשים ממנו, וזה בחינת תף. So when a person has this chen, then that connection of the chet and the nun creates another thing called taf, the letter taf. So the taf is היינו על ידי שנתחברו ונתקשרו החט והנון ונעשה בחינת חן, על ידי זה נעשה בחינת תו. Through that you create this letter tav. Tav is לשון חקיקה ורשימה. So tav means, כמו שכתוב, והתווית תו על מצחות האנשים. So tav is like a mark, where it leaves like a reshima, which is like a roshem. You know, roshem is like, where you can tell something like, you know, when, let's say you go to an area where there's grass and you see the grass is like, you can tell someone was there with like a blanket on the grass. It's like there's a mark that it was there. There's some sort of roshem, it was there. So the tav is like leaving like a mark, an engravement, a roshem, a reshima, in the heart. So because this connection that a person made with this studying Torah bekoach and always judging himself favorably, and through that drawing down from his mind the sechel into his heart and getting life from it and connecting between his mind and heart, through that it mamish engraves from within the person that he's asking, from within the person or Hashem's heart, it engraves an engravement that mamish opens up his heart and makes the request go in. Because through this, the chen, his words were received. נמצא שבחינת החן חקק מקום בלב זה שמבקשים ממנו, כדי שיכנסו דבריו בליבו ויקבל בקשתו. So we see this aspect of chen, mamish engraves a space from within the heart that the words should just go in and get answered. והחקיקה ורשימה זה בחינת תו, and this חקיקה, this engravement is tav. It's called the letter tav. Tav itself means an engravement. וזהו דברי חכמים, that's what Shlomo Melech said in Kohelet, דברי חכמים בנחת נשמעים, that the words of חכמים בנחת, if they're בנחת, נשמעים. Nachat daika, so the words of chachamim are heard through nachat. Nachat means like in a pleasant way, but nachat is also the letters nun chet and then tav. היינו בחינת chen anal והtav anal. ועל ידי זה נעשה אותיות נחת, אזי נשמעים דבריו ונתקבל בקשתו. So when the person has this chen, so automatically he has also the tav, which is the engravement, and the words that come out of his mouth just get engraved into the other person and they just get answered immediately. ועל כן יעקב שהוא בחינת השכל, על כן זכה לחן. For this reason, Yaakov Avinu, like we mentioned above, that he corresponds, he's the aspect of this sechel. That's why he merited to chen, he got blessed with chen, like it says in Bereshit, Ki chanani Elokim, v'chi yesh li kol. So when he was offering the mincha, the present to Esav, all of the animals that he was sending forward to Esav, when he was about to meet Esav as he was coming back from Lavan, so he brought the mincha, and then Esav didn't want to receive it at the beginning. He said, no, I have plenty, yesh li rav. And then Yaakov Avinu kind of insisted and said, no, ki chanani Elokim. Says that Hashem gave me this chen, v'chi yesh li kol, right? V'yiftzar bo v'yikach. That's what it says there. So he says, no, I got this grace, I got this chen from Hashem, right? And v'chi yesh li kol, and I also have everything I need. I don't need any more. V'yiftzar bo, and he like insisted and he gave it to him. So it's a lot deeper over here, because it says here, Ki chanani Elokim. So Elokim, like we said, the word Elokim is the Malchut, right? Is God's hidden face. So Elokim is the numerical value of 86, which is the numerical value of Chen. The Chet is 8 and the Nun is 50, right? So the combination of the Chet and the Nun, the heart and the mind, so that's 58, the Chen. And then the way to connect between the Chet and the Nun, you have to do Esek HaTorah, you have to learn Torah, Ibn Nachman says, but it needs to be Torah bekoach, like with strength. So koach is another 28. So that 58 of the Chet and the Nun and another 28 of the Torah that you need to learn bekoach, together comes out 86, which is the numerical value of Elokim. So Yaakov Avinu is telling Esav, Ibn Nachman here is just giving an example from the Torah. He's showing you how if a person has this connection between the Chet and the Nun, that the things that he asks get answered. Whatever he requests he asks get answered, because he has this Chen. So he says, Ki chanani Elokim, I got this chen, chanani is the chen, the connection between the chet and the nun, I got it through Elokim, meaning I got it through Esek Torah B'koach, by learning Torah B'koach, he learned the Torah by Shem and Ever for 14 years, but then the actual Esek Torah B'koach that he did was all the years at the house of Lavan, where he was there and he mamish, he was going through lots of ups and downs and a lot of downs and couldn't learn and couldn't keep everything that he needed to keep over there and had a really hard time, but he still, the way he held on to it was he kept himself happy and always looked at the Nekudot Tavot and always judged himself favorably, and through that he managed to mamish uplift and take out all the sparks of holiness from the house of Lavan and build the whole nation of Israel. And Yosef HaTzadik did the same thing in Egypt. And then he says, after that, he says, take my present, Esav, because Chanani Elokim, I got chen through Esek Torah B'koach, v'chi yesh li kol, so yesh li kol is the numerical value of 400, three words, yesh li kol, he's telling Esav, I have kol, so yesh li kol is 400, 400 is the taf is numerical value of 400, so he's telling him, I have the chen because of I got it from Elokim, which is Esek Torah B'koach, learning Torah with strength, and I have the taf, because when you have the connection between the chet and the nun, then automatically you have the taf. And then it says, Vayiftzal bo vayikach, that Iftzal is like he mamish opened up the narrowness of his heart, and Esav took it. V'al ken berachta shvatim bechen, kmo shekatuv ha'iladim asher chanan Elokim et avdecha. And that's why Yaakov Avinu also blessed all of his sons, he blessed them with chen. Like it says, "Hayiradim asher chanan Elokim et avdecha." So again, it says that the kids that Hashem, that Elokim gave chen to my children. Hayiradim asher chanan Elokim. So again, it's through the chen. Meaning Yaakov Avinu mamish taught his sons this whole avodah that you need to do, and that he taught them dafka when they were at the house of Lavan, when they were in that state of being mamish inside like in that Egypt over there, he wasn't sitting in his holy tent and teaching them Torah day and night. He was there working really, really hard, and mamish, it was a hard time. So Yaakov Avinu taught all of his sons when he was there the secret of how do you serve Hashem in all situations, especially in your downs. Because that's the real weapon that people need. We need to know how to serve Hashem when we're falling, because most of us are falling, most of the time. Once in a while we have a little awakening, we get back on track a little bit, but the majority of the time we feel like we're falling, we're constantly stumbling and falling right and left. So that's where we need the real tools to know how to get close to Hashem and how to hang on and make yourself happy and not fall into atzvus. So he taught that secret to his children. But Binyamin lo hayaz, but Binyamin wasn't born yet, so Binyamin didn't get this type of avodah, this type of secret that you get dafka when you're inside the house of Lavan, in that place of impurity. V'al kenem, therefore, belcho Yosef bechen. So Yosef HaTzadik, the Torah says, when the brothers came down right to Egypt, so then they had to go back and bring Binyamin, and he came, and then Yosef over there blesses Binyamin with chen. It says, Elokim yechoncha bni. So again he uses the word Elokim. That Yosef HaTzadik blesses Binyamin that he should merit to have this chen and this connection between the chet and the nun, and really learn how to serve Hashem from within the downs. But Dafka Yosef Dafka Yosef was the one that could bless him with chen, meaning why didn't someone else bless him? Why Dafka Yosef and not like one of the other brothers? Yosef haya kalul beyoter mibchinat Yaakov, kmo shekatuv ela toldot Yaakov Yosef. So the reason that Yosef HaTzadik had the ability to do it is because he was included in Yaakov Avinu more than any of the other sons. He mamish was. It says ela, like it says also in the parsha, right? Ela toldot Yaakov Yosef. The word Yaakov Yosef are right near each other. And ki hu haya ikar toldotav, he was the ikar of the toldotav. We also know that Yaakov Avinu, his whole avodah was mamish for Yosef HaTzadik. That was what he was trying to bring down. Again, we go back to the inyan of the tzaddik. That's why Yaakov Avinu wanted to bring the tzaddik. It was this idea of tzaddik. He knew that the redemption of the entire world, of every single person, depends on that tzaddik, that figure of tzaddik, in himself, that he looks at himself and is a tzaddik and is always judging himself favorably. right? Matzdik himself in the judgment. So that was Yosef's, Yaakov Avinu's main intention. That's why he wanted to marry Rachel first. Ki Yaakov Yosef kachad chashive. It says in the Zohar and Vayishlach, the Zohar says that Yaakov and Yosef are considered one person. They're mamish considered like one soul and two bodies. Val ken ne'emar b'Yosef, and therefore because they're one, it says by Yosef in Dvarim when Yaakov Avinu was blessing all of the sons before he passed away. It says bechol shoro hadarlo. So this is one of the blessings, one of the things that Yaakov Avinu blessed Yosef. Bechol is firstborn. Hu bechinat ha-sechel. So the firstborn we said is the aspect of the sechel, like we said at the beginning. V'zehu shoro lashon istaklut. So bechol shoro, the sechel, the shoro means to see, having that ability to see the sechel from within everything. Ki tzechin istakel ba'asechel she'eshgu bechol davar. Because we mentioned that you have to see the sechel from within everything. You have to know how to see the sechel of how do I get close to Hashem and how do I serve Hashem even from within this sin, even from within this, place that I'm in now that I can't keep anything that I, would like to be keeping. I can't keep Shabbos or, whatever it is, whatever state I'm in, right? How do I serve Hashem over there? So that's looking at the sechel from within everything and seeing how I can actually serve Hashem also in those states and not feel like, okay, I'm out of the picture now for 5 months until the light comes back a bit and then I'll go back to daven and back to classes or whatever. Right? I need to know to continue serving always, especially in the downs, because that's the majority of our life. V'zehu hadarlo, and that's what it says in the continuation. Hadarlo b'chol shoro hadarlo. So hadarlo means unklus said zivle. Zivle is like light, lashon or, so it's light. So what does this mean? Yaakov Avinu was blessing Yosef and telling him ki hasechel u'meir lo b'chol davar afilu makom she'ofel v'choshech. That he was mamish blessing him that he should always have those eyes to be able to see the sechel from within every single thing. See that light and be able to serve Hashem in the ups and downs. And it's amazing because Yosef HaTzadik, like we could see that this lesson, obviously, Yaakov Avinu taught, he taught Yosef HaTzadik, because Chazal say that he mamish gave over all the Torah that he had, Yaakov Avinu gave over to Yosef. A lot more than the other brothers, and that's one of the reasons why they were jealous of him. And the reason Yaakov Avinu did it is because he knew Yosef Tzaddik is going to be in a similar situation that he was in. He was in the house of Lavan, and Yosef's going to have to go down and mamish be in Egypt, the most impure place with the most tests, and he's going to need to hold on over there in the pit when he's in jail for all those years, and still be happy and hold on to Hashem and still stay the son of the king and not give up and decide, all right, I'm giving the firstborn rights back to the Yetzer Hara, right? So he mamish gave it all to him. So before he passes away, he mamish blessed him that Yosef HaTzadik had this ability because he obviously held on. He's managed to survive through all those years alone in Egypt. So he blessed him, or just that he has those eyes of mamish seeing the sechel and everything. Afilu b'makom she'ofel v'choshech, even in a place that's really, really dark, me'ir lo ha'sechel, that sechel mamish lights up your path. If a person can tap into that light of the sins when he falls, if he knows what to do in order to just elevate it and uplift it and be able to get all those sparks of holiness instead of letting it go to the other side, it's a huge, huge light. It lights up even when a person's in mamish in the dark and he's in a place where he's in a really low place in life. If he doesn't let go, he mamish gets all of the light. Right? Through that he merits to see the sechel from within every single thing, and it brings him closer to Hashem. B'ezrat Hashem, it'll become more and more clear of how exactly we do this, what the process is, because we're talking about it a lot, and we're going to talk about it a lot, because it's basically the whole idea of Likutei Moharan is this idea of serving Hashem in these two different kind of ways, ups and downs, and especially in the downs, how to get the sparks out of Esav, not let the Yetzer Hara take all the holiness. But B'ezrat Hashem, by the time we get the fourth lesson, we'll already know what we need to do, God willing. V'zeh Perush, and this is what the Rabbi Bar Chana and Bava Metzia, it's like a little agadata. It's this little story that nobody really doesn't really make so much sense. Nobody really understands the pshat. There's a bunch of these little quotes in the Gemara in different places of Rabbi Bar Chana. So it says like this. אמר רבא בר חנא, היי גלה דמטבע לספינתא, מתחזה קיצוציתא דנורא חיברתא ברישא. This wave that is a wave that is sinking the ship, it looks like a little spark, a little spark of a fire. It looks at the beginning like it's this little white spark of fire. So the Rashbam over there, the commentary says, it looks like it's a esh levana, it looks like a white fire, but it's actually a bad angel, malach mazik. Umachinan le, and how do you wipe it out? Be'alveta dechakika le'ehyeh asher ehyeh. You wipe out this angel with a staff that has engraved in it the name of Hashem, right? Ehyeh asher ehyeh. That's what's engraved in this staff. And you use this staff to beat and subdue this white angel. So that's what a quote from the Gemara, and now Reb Nachman is going to explain what that means. So Gala hu hayetzer hara, the Gala, this wave, that's coming, trying to sink the ship, right? This wave is the Yetzer Hara. The matba lesfinta hu achen v'achashivut. It's coming to sink the ship. Ship is called sfinta, sfina, right? So that's chen and chashivut. Leshon safun v'chashuv. Sfinta is like the word safun, which means something that's important. So it's the chen and the chashivut, like the malchut de gedusha of Am Yisrael, all these sparks of holiness that the other side is trying to take. So the Yetzer Hara is trying to basically, the Esav wants to take all these sparks of holiness from all of our falls. כי היצר הרע הוא רוצה להטביע ולהשפיל חס ושלום בחינת החן והחשיבות של ישראל, בחינת מלכות דקדושה. Right? He wants to, knock us down, not let us be the firstborn, make us be this, the servant maid, and take through that. When we're down and we're falling and doing lots of sins, he wants to take all of the light to himself. That's basically what he wants. And through that, obviously, knock down the kingdom of Kedusha from within us. And he looks like a little white fire at the beginning. At the beginning, the Yetzer Hara comes in garments, of white garments, right? He looks like a white fire because he makes it look like you're doing a mitzvah, right? He comes in garments of like it's a mitzvah. What do you mean? Or I think what Rav Nachman is saying over here is that when a person is in that down and falls and goes over things, so the Yetzer Hara starts knocking him and saying, he's coming like he's the tzaddik, rebuking him, like, what I think you did, and Hashem's upset with you, and he starts giving him all this, that melody that we told you about, the screaming melody we spoke about yesterday. So he comes, he's as if coming from the side of like, trying to get you to like do tshuva, and you should be ashamed of yourself and so on. Those are like the voices from within you, right? So he's coming in garments like he's a white angel, as if he's like looking out for you. But really what he's trying to do is he's trying to get you to think about it as much as possible and dwell into it and really get yourself down about it so you can get nice and down and sad. And when you're in that state, it's a snowball, you're just going to roll into a lot more sins, and that's exactly what he's looking for. So that's why he comes in these garments of white garments. And that's what the Rashbam, the commentary there said. The Rashbam said it's esh levana, it's a white fire, but you should be careful because it's still a malach mazik, it's the bad angel that's coming to do that. The way you wipe it out is with this staff that has these names on it. The way we subdue the Yetzer Hara is through the Torah, which is all, we know the Torah, the entire Torah is all holy names of Hashem. The Torah ibchinat Vav, the Torah is the aspect of Vav, the letter Vav, because we know the tablets were they're Vav by Vav, 5 tfachim by 5, 6 tfachim by 6 tfachim, which is the letter Vav. And this is the aspect of a stick, dainu maklot, right? So the Vav also looks like the shape of a stick. Chakika le'eheyeh, hainu shemot. So the Torah is this aspect of the Vav, and the Vav is the shape of a stick, and it's all names of Hashem on the Torah, right? V'hainu she'atorah, what Rabbi Bar Chana is coming to teach us here is that the Torah itself, hi machnia et ha'yetzer hara. It subdues the Yetzer Hara that wants to make a person completely crazy. Chas v'shalom. Ki ba'al avera hu meshuga, like the rabbis teach, that a person who does an avera, does a sin, it's considered like he's crazy, right? He went out of his mind at that moment. Right? Like the rabbi said in Masechet Sotah, En adam over avera ela im ken nichnas baruach shtut, that a person doesn't go over something from the Torah, right? Something that Hashem commanded, a person doesn't go over it unless some sort of like wind of craziness came onto him. Like it's mamish like a shigon, which means what the rabbis are teaching us is not to tell us that we're crazy. What they're telling us is that a person himself, like, again, we got to go back to the switching, like Esav and Yaakov, right? They got swapped. Esav comes out first, but really he's not the Bechor. Yaakov was supposed to come out first, but Yaakov's holding on. So the teaching is that Yaakov needs to now, throughout his life, the teaching for us is that we need to subdue the Yetzer Hara. He comes out firstborn, right? He's 13 years old, and only then we get our Yetzer Tov, which means he has like 13-year head start. And we've been all these years, looking in the mirror and thinking this is who we are and this is my essence. But your true essence of your neshama, that little neshama, that holy neshama, that part of Hashem that's from within you, you only get when you're 13. So he's basically like the Bechor. He has a huge head start. He's like the firstborn. So when a person does an Avera, that Avera comes from his, that physical body that was developed and all of his characteristics and taivas and that he has because of this, the Yetzer Tov only coming in at the most crucial time when he needs the Yetzer Tov, which is the teenage years. That's where he needs his Yetzer Tov to be strong. So it should have been the other way around. Like it should have been like you get your Yetzer Tov till you're 13, and then now when you're about to hit your teenage years, the difficult years, so now you get your Yetzer Hara, so it makes it a little bit difficult, but your Yetzer Tov is really strong. But Hashem set it up in a different way. Hashem set it up that you only get your Yetzer Tov when you're 13. And up until then, so you have 13 years to mamish develop this Yetzer Hara, develop this physical body with all of its, taivas and bad midot and so on, right? So when a person goes over an Avera, he thinks that he's the one going over an Avera. He thinks it's that little neshama that he got, right? That's your essence. That's your little Yaakov Avinu from within you, is that neshama you got when you were 13. But for a lot of people, especially because they at teenage years went off and did tons of sins and went off the derech, so they feel their whole teenage years and their whole life they were thinking the whole time that it was them. But they don't even realize that they don't even know who they are. They haven't discovered who they are, because your true essence, your true neshama, that chelek eloka, right, it only comes in when you're 13, so it's still a baby, and it needs to be developed and slowly grow, and you bring more wisdom onto it, and more kedusha onto it, and slowly you start convincing, slowly you to uproot and take that firstborn, rights from him, and you become the firstborn by overcoming your physical body and subduing the Yetzer Hara and taking it away from him, the firstborn. But it takes time. It's a process. So most people don't know that, and they think that all the things that they fell in and the taivas and everything, that's them. But really, Chazal are teaching us here that it's actually a ruach shtut. It's not when a person will only do a sin if a mamash a ruach of a crazy wind comes onto him. What's this crazy wind? This is the Yetzer Hara. It's this Yetzer Hara that overcomes him, and only because of that he's doing it, not because it's not the Yetzer Tov that fell. So Rav Nachman's saying, so the same way we see crazy people, like actual crazy people, like I guess, but that's maybe how they used to deal with it back then. That crazy people, you need to tzrichim la'akotam v'lasum aleim shemot. You need to beat them. You beat crazy people and you put names onto them. So I think what he's saying over here, I don't know what the names, maybe back in the day they used to have like different names or kameot and different like writing names and stuff they'd put onto them to get rid of that wind of like that crazy wind that came onto them. The beating part is, I think I read somewhere else, I'm not sure where I got it from, but it's like every person has, I think Reb Nachman says it somewhere, that every person has, a certain amount of like, let's say you see a crazy person on the street, so yeah, let's say he's 60% crazy, right? But he's acting 90% crazy. Because he's 60 or 50% crazy, so he's kind of like just letting loose, like he's not, even in the things that he could control himself, he's not. Because he's crazy and everybody holds him crazy. So he does whatever he wants. So really he's acting 90% crazy, but really he's only 50% crazy. So the fear, like when you beating someone, meaning you're installing fear. If they have fear, then what they do is they'll control that extra 30-40% where that they could control, and then they'll only be 50% crazy. And then for that 50%, you put on shemot and different things to try get rid of their So those were like the methods that they used for actual crazy people to get rid of that craziness from within them. So Reb Nachman says, Kmo chen mamash haTorah she'oskin. Exactly the same way the Torah that a person learns, the type of Torah that we spoke about, right? That gives you that strength. Hu bechinat, it's the aspect of sticks and names that by using them you mamish beat and subdue the Yetzer Hara, and you get rid of that crazy shigon that's from within, that wind of craziness that's from within a person that came into him. Bechinat umachinane be'alveta, like the mamish whacking him and just wiping him out with the alveta, with the staff that has the names on it, like we said above. Last little part is Ashrei, V'zeu Ashrei Tmimei Darech. Now, Reb Nachman in most Torahs usually starts off at the beginning of the Torah with a pasuk. We started off with the Torah with the pasuk Ashrei Tmimei Darech. Praiseworthy are the simpletons that go on the path in a simple way, that walk in the pathway of Yud Kei Vav Kei of Hashem. They always have the Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Chesed and Rachamim of Hashem is always before their eyes, always remembering how merciful Hashem is. So that's how we started it off, and now he ends off the Torahs also by now showing how the entire Torah that he gave over is all included from within that one pasuk. V'zeu Ashrei Tmimei Darech. So Ashrei, the word Ashrei means to see, histaklut. Tmimei Darech, people that have this tmimut, like a simpletons, their pathway of like a simpleton. Bechinat, this is the aspect of Yaakov Ishtam, that Yaakov was a Ishtam. Shehu bechinat ha-sechel, which is the aspect of the sechel. So again, Yaakov, why is he called a Ishtam? Yaakov is a Ishtam because the completion of a person is when he serves Hashem, when he's up and when he's down. And in order to do that type of avodah, you have to have a Yetzer Hara, you have to have a Ish. Ish is the Esav, right? Esav was a Ish Tzad, Ish Sadeh. He's called the Ish. And Yaakov is also a Ishtam. And Moshe Rabbeinu is, right, Ish Moshe. It's always the combination of the two, because the shleimut of a person, Rav Nachman always called, as Isha Yisraeli. He always says Isha Yisraeli, right? Isha Yisraeli means that mamish, that combination of having that Esav with you, having all those taivas and all those, and going with that, going through your downs. Yeah, trying to, as much as you could, stay out of them and serve Hashem and do good, right? But we're going to fall. We're falling all the time. So when a person falls and he manages to still make himself happy and do the avodah that Yaakov did by Lavan and Yosef did in Egypt, through that's the shleimut, that's the completion. That's why, because tmimut, right? Tmime is shalem. Rashi says Yaakov ish tam is shalem, is complete. So the completion of Yaakov is that he had the Yetzer Hara and subdued him and used him to serve Hashem. What this means is that in order to merit to look at the sechel from within every single fall that I go through, which is the aspect of Yaakov Ishtam, how do you merit this? You merit this through the Torah. And that's why it says, Ha'olchim b'Torat Hashem, that are walking in the pathways in the Torah of Hashem. Ki al yedei shelomed Torah bekoach, because by studying Torah bekoach, like we mentioned, that type of Torah, al yedei ze notan koach lemalchut dikdusha, Bechinat Nun, through that he gives strength to the kingdom of holiness from within him, which is the aspect of the letter Nun, the vessel, the heart. It gives it strength to receive from the Sechel, from the Chet, which is the aspect of Chet. And then the Chet and the Nun connect, and he gets this Chen. V'nitkablin dvarav, and all of his words that come out of his mouth in prayer and go up, they get answered immediately. And through that, the Chen and the Chashivut, which is the kingdom, the holy kingdom, right? The Malchut Kedusha of a person on a personal level, which is mamish, him being like a melech and having complete control from his mind on his entire being, his entire body, because there's a very strong connection between his heart and his mind. It's mamish one. So that's in a personal level, that's like a complete kingdom. And the kingdom, right, the Malchut de Kedusha, which is mamish by elevating all the sparks of holiness that fell from all the sins of Am Yisrael throughout all generations, elevating and uplifting all of them, and that's the fixing of the kingdom of the Malchut de Kedusha of Am Yisrael. V'chol tefillot, and when a person's in this state, when the nation's in this state, all the prayers and all the requests get answered. Amish like Moshe Rabbeinu, every time he wanted to go into the tent, he'd talk to Hashem, Hashem would talk back to him. Like he had a complete, open channel between him and Hashem. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Every Yid is supposed to have that connection. Same way Adam HaRishon spoke, that he just spoke to Hashem. Right? That's how a Yid. If a person was really a Adam, he had that completion of Adam, Komat Adam was connected between the heart and the mind and completely subdued the other side, which I don't think it's such a difficult thing to do. Reb Nachman makes it look like it's a very simple thing to do. Through like some words and Hidbodedut and stuff. So B'ezrat Hashem we'll get to it. Anyhow, that's the first lesson. So the first lesson is talking all about the Aleph. It's basically the studying of the Torah. That's the main focus, is the studying of the Torah, and making sure to study Torah also when you're in your falls. And that's the unification. That's the letter Aleph, connecting the upper Yud, which is the Sechel, the mind, and the lower Yud, which is the kingdom, the Malchut, which is the heart, and connecting the two with the Vav, which is the Torah. And then in Torah Bet, what Reb Nachman is going to do is he's going to now Torah Bet is basically all talking about prayer, and he's going to teach us that mamish, the redemption of every person's personal Mashiach and his redemption depends on this amazing weapon called prayer. And he's going to teach us how to now draw the Torah, how to combine the prayer with the Torah, meaning he's going to combine the first and second lesson into each other and show how they both need to always be brought to the center line. Like I gave a class on that whole thing of drawing everything to the center. And then B'ezrat Hashem, the third lesson, Gimel, is going to be the actual melody. How can a person get rid of this melody? Because we said we have these two melodies in us all the time. Sometimes you hear nice things, things sound good, and sometimes you hear the melody. Most of the time, we hear the melody of the Yetzer Hara telling us, the screaming, basically. So we want to start hearing the holy melody that's going to reconnect our heart with our mind, and not the screaming that disconnects it and brings all the thoughts, makes us not be able to concentrate, not understand anything. So that's going to be a second and third lesson. B'ezrat Hashem will continue. I don't know if tomorrow, but we'll see. Take care, guys.